Alright, here's my 2020 Dragonmaid deck profile now. Prior to quarantine, I really thought that I wanted to play just a combo deck because Needle Fiber was coming out, Eternity Code was coming out, everything pointed towards that. So originally I went with Adamantipator, which I still have it. It's what I'm thinking I might end up playing this format, but just the Eternity Code Dragonmaid deck is so good. And it actually has something that Adamantipator just currently doesn't have, in the fact that it's actually enjoyable to play. I just haven't enjoyed playing Adamantipator online, but with this one I actually like playing it. And I like combo decks in general, so Dragonmaid just seems like the natural choice. So I'm going to get right into the deck profile, and at the end of it, if you don't agree with anything that I said, or if there's just something you didn't agree with, just keep watching through. I'll explain all my card choices in detail. So let me hop right into it. First, just the obvious one-ofs. Rhythm D and Tempest. Then I also play one of the Wind Big Dragons, 2 of the Fire Big Dragons, and 3 of the Earth. Then for some extenders, just Parallel Exceed. Then to get to the smaller Dragon Maids, we have 3 Chamber, 3 copies of Kitchen, 3 copy of Parlor, then 3 copies of Nurse. This one might be a little controversial with this lineup, but I'll explain it a little bit later. Then on to the hand traps, which is the one thing that I kind of regret, but 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of DD Crow, so it's only 6. And in this format, that might be a little low, but I'll get to that too. Then for the spells, the one-ofs are going to be Foolish Burial, 1 copy of Dragon Shrine, 1 copy of Upstart Goblin, 1 copy of Send-Off, 1 Monster Reborn, then 2 copies of Changeover, then 3 copies of Hospitality, then 3 copies of World Legacy Guard Dragon, ending it off with 1 trap, which is just going to be Dragonmaid Downtime. Next, let's get to the extra deck. Extra deck's pretty simple, starting out 2 copies of Xiao, and 3 copies of House Dragonmaid is just mandatory. And then we're playing 1 copy of Appaloosa, 1 copy of Boral Sword, and 1 copy of Saryuja. And then next we play the 1 Unicorn and IP Masquerade to go together. Then we're going to get into 2 Link 2s, Heretic Seal, and Cross Sheep. I mean, it's a fusion deck, so obviously. Then to finish it off, 1 copy of LP, 1 copy of Pisty, then 1 copy of Almirage. Alright, and after that, if you're a professional with Dragon Maids and you agree with literally everything I said, then that will be the end of it for you. If there was anything that you felt was questionable, or that you just might not have agreed with, just stick around, I'll explain it, and maybe you'll come over to the other side, or if not, you'll at least have some background on why I do it, and maybe you can try it out yourself. Okay, now I'm just going to run back through pretty quickly and just explain the things that I did. The Rhythm D is obvious. Tempest is obvious. Now for my Big Dragon lineup, for me to explain it a little bit better for you so you understand why I think this is the best way to play it. 1 copy of Wind. It's not great going first, but you A, need the attribute, and B, going second, it's just really good to turn off one of your opponent's cards, if not just force a negate. It's not really a bait as much as it just forces your opponent to answer it. Then 2 of the Fire Large. It just lets you kill. It lets you do a lot of damage. It lets you beat over anything, essentially. Puts your Xiao to 5,500. It's the only reason we run 2 of it. I considered cutting it down to 1, but dropping it down to 1 is just... If I played Phantasme, I would, but without Phantasme, you need to have 2 of this card. Then next, the best large dragon is the Earth. It's an extender, combo starter. It pretty much does everything that you could ask for this card to do. You could just drop your small Dragon Maids in your opponent's in phase and have them relive for your turn. It's all around just insane and no reason to play at less than 3. Alright, and then Parallel Exceed, if you play a Yu-Gi-Oh deck right now, you should probably be playing Parallel Exceed. It's literally the best extender and arguably one of the top 5 best cards out of Eternity Code, so no reason not to play it. And then for what most Dragonmaid enthusiasts might disagree with, is my lineup for the actual Dragonmaids, which is just 3 of all excluding Laundry. Laundry's garbage. But all of these have a reason to play them. Nurse is your extender, and these are your 9 starters. And in comparison to the Rocket starters, these are easily much better. The biggest flaw with the Rocket starters is if it gets hit by a hand trap, then you're passing. Like, you need to have 2 or 3 other extenders just to make those cards worth it. Whereas here, if you hand trap one of these, I can probably extend through it. If I have World Legacy Guard Dragon, it's nothing. Like, you just went -1 to stop nothing. But if they Ash Blossom you, or if they hit you with like a high yield hand trap that just ends your turn, then it's fine, because at the end of the day, these things can still float into their bigger dragons and put them back in your hand, keeping you alive, keeping you plays on your next turn. It's just like, it's a game of inches right now, and if you can't keep going, then you lose. So it's just it at the end of the day. And 3 Nurse is good because you want to draw Nurse. Like, I don't understand people who play 1. Yes, just because you can keep getting them back from the graveyard doesn't mean you don't want to see them as soon as possible. You realistically want to open 2 or 3 copies of Dragonmaids every single time you draw. So that's the reason for that one. Now, the thing that I'm most on the fence about and still in testing is this number of hand traps, only 6. The one flaw I feel Dragonmaid has is it just can't play that many hand traps. Phantasme would be good to also fit in to play at 9, but I just don't think it's good enough is the issue. If I'm going first, all I'm doing is sending it from my hand to the graveyard to fusion with. And if I'm going second, then I probably would want to play a better hand trap than that anyway. Something like Nibiru, but even Nibiru is just in a bad position in this meta. But regardless, if I do add any other hand trap, it'll be Phantasme. And these 6 right now is just, they're pretty much the most impactful against Eldritch. So it's the one I'm going with. That one's subject to change, but I feel like that's the best way right now. Then the simple things are just the spells until you get to Changeover. A lot of people are saying play 1 Changeover. It's searchable and it infinitely recurs itself from the graveyard. That's all fine and dandy until you really think about what Changeover is supposed to be. Like, yes, Chamber can search it. Yes, Parlor can send it so you can get to it in multiple ways, but you don't want to have to do that. If I draw Changeover, then I'm happy. I want to draw that because now my Chamber can search Hospitality. And really, if that was a good theory, then Invoked players would play 1 Invocation, but they don't. A lot of them max out on 3. You want to see them as soon as possible. Only reason that we don't max out on 3 of this is because there's so many ways to get to it. 2 is still fine though, because if I draw it, then I'm in a good position and I'm happy. Might even play 3 of it, not sure yet. And then everything else is simple with the Hospitalities until you get to World Legacy Guard Dragon. You don't just play this for a Monster Reborn. This is also a Dragon Link deck or a Dragon deck. You're using Guard Dragons, so there's no reason not to play this. This plus any of the 500 attack Dragonmaids is borderline full combo at times, so really no other reason to play this, or no reason not to play this actually. And then 1 copy of Downtime. It's just an okay card. It's the best card to search if you already have all your targets for the chamber, so yeah, and that's gonna be it. Now, if at this point you're still not completely convinced of this build, tomorrow or so, in the next few days at least, I'm going to be posting a video, showing these combos and what this deck can do. Because realistically, you're ending around 4 negates with House Dragonmaid double pop at start of battle phase to protect your Apollousa. And there's not a ton of decks that can get through 4 negates and manage to still clear your board when you have something as big as Xiao infinitely getting you advantage every standby phase. So, like I said, it's a tempo game. It's a game of inches, and every inch is gonna count with a deck like this. So, if you don't agree with anything that I'm doing here, just tune in tomorrow and you'll see. It's a pretty good way to play it. And anyway, that's gonna be it for it. Like, comment if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. If not, just leave some constructive criticism in the comments below. Just letting me know what you think about it. And that's going to be it.